started. They electrified the car they already had, and you claim it's boring. You obviously have no taste because it's the #1 purchased truck in the US. You're definitely not a car guy and don't know anything about them/the history. So, I've addressed this on other videos. I am definitely a car guy. I used to review cars. I very briefly worked at a car dealership. That was a terrible idea. And I've owned probably 18 or 20 different cars and motorcycles. Only 2 motorcycles. So, yeah, I claim it's boring. It's the #1 purchased truck. I would argue it's the #1 purchased truck because it's good. Ford does know how to make a pretty truck. They've made, their Raptor trucks look great. This one looks, it looks fine. It looks fine, but it looks like a truck. It looks like they're doing the same old when there's no real reason to. So, yeah, I would say they're #1 because of their history, not because of their future. Oh gosh, this whole argument is laughable. Sell your Tesla stock and buy Ford whilst you still have a chance to get in. No thank you. I look at Tesla as more than a car company. If it was just a car company, I think the valuation would be laughably high. But they're an AI company. They're a battery company. They're a automation company. They're a lot of things. They're an energy company. They're a solar company. They're a grid storage company. They're a lot of things. And a lot of those, if they were their own companies, would be the sort of thing I would be interested in investing in. But they're not. They're just what they are. So, no, I will not be selling my Tesla stock. And Ford sales are going down. And they are pretty much just a car company. And that would concern me if I was a shareholder. You make this video, and yet I guarantee the F-150 Lightning is going to sell better because it's an F-150. And again, I hasten to point out, no, it won't. That's not their plan. If Tesla is able to ramp to 11 kajillion units, that's how many they go and build. And they'll be able to sell, a lot of them. Maybe not 11 kajillion. I'm not sure how many that is, but it sounds like a lot. It's like umpteen, but in vehicle terms. I don't know what the conversion is. F-150, they're just not planning on making that many because they're not profitable in the way their internal combustion ones are, and they just don't have the batteries, unfortunately. SK Innovations has already opened their first plant in the United States, which will be ramping production to blah, blah, blah. No, they won't. No, they won't. They haven't opened it. It's the final agreement hasn't even been signed. This is not my opinion. This is from Reuters. They're going to take ages to get these plants built and ramped. Yeah, they'll be opening another plant by 2023. No, they won't. They'll be lucky to open the first one by 2023. The second one may come online 2025 or 6. It hasn't happened yet, and it's going to be painful. The Ford Lightning is for the average American. The Cybertruck is for the average YouTube vlogger. Ford wins in sales numbers. So the Ford Lightning is for a lot of people, not for all F-150 owners. A lot of them need a towing capacity that an EV just can't deliver yet today. But it's not for every American. Not every American buys the Ford. A truck at all. I mean, we sell, 3 million trucks, but there's 20 million cars sold. So it's really only 15 of car sales, if it is 20 million. At any rate, pickups are still not a majority vehicle. The Cybertruck is for the average YouTube vlogger. You know what? I bet you're right. I bet you a lot of YouTube vloggers are going to have that truck. Ford wins in sales numbers, and I've been over this 10 times. No, they won't. They don't even plan to be. That's not their objective. They can't get the batteries, and they can't make enough money to actually do that. They will not win in sales numbers. We'll look at what 2022 and 3 shape up to be it's going to be an interesting race. Dude, you're seriously biased. Yeah. There's a reason why Ford sells almost 1 million F-150s a year. I bet Ford sells more Lightnings than Cybertrucks. Well, Ford will sell more Lightnings than Ford sells Cybertrucks, but Tesla's going to sell more Cybertrucks because that's their objective. If Ford hits all of their most ambitious targets and Tesla falls short by 70%, the Cybertruck will still outsell the Ford because Ford just doesn't plan on selling that many. At best, they hope to get to about 16% of F-150 sales by 2026. It's good. I appreciate it as an EV enthusiast, as a more or less a Ford fan, I guess, and as a human who lives on this planet. I'm delighted about that. I just wish they would take it more seriously, and I fear that if they don't, it will cause problems for them in the near to medium term. I'm a traditional truck owner. There's no way I will ever get a Cybertruck, but I will be getting a Lightning, as with millions of other truck owners. So, I have bad news for you. They're not making millions. That is not the plan. They plan to make up to 80,000, maybe 160,000 a year by sometime later in the decade, but that's going to be kind of tough. Because yeah, they're not planning on building that many. The Lightning will still be the best-selling truck. The F-150 has been top dog for a reason. Yeah, it's a good value. You get kind of a lot of truck for a not insane amount of money. Now, of course, you can trim it out to the point where you might as well buy a really nice Mercedes at that point. But it's a good truck, and it's a reasonable value, and they've had very commendable success with their build quality and dependability. But that only helps in their internal combustion space. Them days is winding down, and Ford is not winding down fast enough. But that's not the exciting part. Let's get to the next question. No one thinks the Lightning will sell 1 million trucks a year. So I'll refer you to the previous bunch of comments. It turns out a lot of people who are very passionate about Ford thinks that the Lightning will sell 1 million trucks a year. And they think it's going to happen right quick. So I guess my best reference to you on that would be to start this video over and look at the other comments. But it's tough, man. It's tough. Cybertruck won't make it with that garbage bed. It's useless as a truck, and no real truck buyer would waste their money on it. Tesla should have used what works. There's a reason all major truck companies use the same design. Yeah, tradition. That's the only reason. You should not be using a design at all. Hey, would you like to know why the solid rocket boosters on the outside of the space shuttle, outside of the main fuel tank, why they were the size they were? And I'll tell you why. It's because of the width of two horses walking side by side. How could that be? Well, the booster had to fit through train tunnels. And how wide are train tunnels? Train width. Well, how wide are trains? It's the tracks. They got to fit on these tracks. Who decided on those tracks? Well, the tracks had to be the same as the horseless carriages. Otherwise, trains and carts couldn't use the same roads. It caused problems. Who built the horseless carriages? The track designers from England. Why did they pick that width? Because that was the width of the carriages in England that used the old Roman roads. And where did the ruts in the old Roman roads come from? The width of two horses walking side by side. Is that the best width for a train? Maybe. I mean, I can't believe it just coincidentally is. It's certainly not the best diameter for a solid rocket booster, but it's the one they had to use because it fit the train tunnels. So just because you've done something for 100 years or 1,000 years doesn't make it the right thing to do. And putting an electric drivetrain in a truck that's designed to have a giant V8 in the front is ridiculous. So maybe let's not do that. Just thinking out loud. I won't buy a Tesla ever. Well, I think, Dylan, that you are a crazy person. And I'll tell you why. I can't say that of any car brand. If you could get me an electric 6 or 7 seat minivan for 20 grand, I'd buy it today, no matter who makes it. If a vehicle comes out with better specs, better safety, and a lower price, I'm going to buy it. It doesn't matter who it is. And saying you just won't buy one ever, I mean, great. That's like I remember the very long time my mom said she would never use email. Yeah, she had to come around because times changed, and you kind of have to use email. Well, that's enough for today, but there will be at least a couple more of these coming in the future. Future days, future weeks, who knows. Subscribe if you want to see them, or if you want to see them now, you can just click the link in the old corner rhubarb up there, and you can check out in the description. I probably have a playlist put together at this point. So there you go. So what did I miss or misunderstand? Pile on in the comments below and try to do so politely. I mean, come on, man. And as always, my friends, stay tuned, stay juicy, and I cannot wait to hear from you clever robots in the fast lane. And thanks as always to my amazing Patreons who get early access, quite a bit of bonus content at this point, an ad-free experience, and help keep the channel running for as little as $1 a month. I literally cannot do it without you guys. And your support makes it so that I don't have to chase the algorithm and can instead spend that time making content that you actually want to see. Apologies if this Patreon list is out of date, but I made a bunch of these at once and, I'll get you on the next one.